Hello, everybody. How's everybody tonight?
Hi, Louis. How are you?
Good, Tori. How you doing today?
All right, pretty good. Pretty good.
All right. Papa Squirrel wants to jump on. What happened? Hold on. What's good? Anything?
Not much. Same old, same old. We have Mark Henry waiting in the chat room. Do you see him over there waiting to come in tonight, or?
Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Yes, I do see him.
Yep. Fantastic.
Okay, well, we'll get him in 1 second.
Sure. Hey, Papa Squirrel.
Ruh-roh.
What are you going to do,
We'll get on.
There he is.
I just wanted to get on for a moment to show you this neat from Santiago, a nice coffee cup.
Uh-oh.
So the store does work.
The store works.
Hey, I've been trying to get in there for just now it works. So I just wanted to help a coffee cup. And Lizard Skin is a damn good product because I use it in the cab of my box truck, Class 6 diesel, noisy, hot, miserable. And it cut the heat way down. You could tell when I put it in the doors, it cut the direct heat coming through the door.
Yeah.
So I can say that I'm happy with Lizard Skin from personal use. And I plan to use it more. Okay, Louis, I'm finished. It's time to let the others on.
Okay, thanks, Papa Squirrel.
Glad that was a good plug, Mark. And you didn't even get started yet. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good.
Very good.
I'm Louis, and we are waiting on Lou to come on.
Okay.
See if he's in the chat yet. Nope. He's always the late comer.
He's fashionably late. That's okay, though.
That's fine.
Yeah, but anyway, I've known Marks for, 10 years or so, and always stopped in to see him over in York at the NSRA show. Always buying Lizard Skin, and Papa Squirrel said it perfectly. It, keeps the sound down, keeps the heat out, and, Greg's 57 Chevy is living proof of that because I was in that car with no air conditioning going up to the Good Guys show before and after, and what a difference.
Yeah, you could tell the difference on your drive, huh?
Oh, big time. Big time. At the display, they have a couple of doors there. One lined with the Lizard Skin sound deadener and one without. One's like ringing a bell, and the other one is just flat where it just, it stops it. Hey, Lou.
What's happening?
What up?
How you doing?
What's up, Mark? How you doing?
Great. How you doing?
I am still above ground. I want you to know that I've used your product and I like it.
We appreciate
it.
Okay, well, let's we just went live on Facebook, I think.
You
hopefully.
think?
So let's
Facebook is a pain.
tell her.
Have you ever noticed that? It never works right.
All right.
It really is.
It is a pain.
It's a pain.
Let's tell everybody who we are, just in case we are live, because if we're not live, we're gonna put it on YouTube anyway, so we'll podcast.
Yeah. Put it on YouTube.
So
I'm drink my coffee while we're doing this, by the way.
Right. You missed Papa Squirrel's new store item that he received. But I'll show it to you in a minute. But my name is Louis Lee from All Ins Magazine, as you can see, and co-host of Plan and Traffic with Mr. Lou Santiago. And we do this every Thursday night. So tell all your friends and family and send us donations down at the bottom. You just hit the button and donate.
Because we need your money so we can keep this going. It's plain and simple. We're not going to lie about it.
Yep.
Tori, go ahead. Tell them who you are.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tori DeBlasi from Long Island, New York. Is your rear end tired, old, or just plain worn out? Well, don't worry about it. I got you covered. If you just want to freshen up your rear end, which is always recommended, I can touch up with a bearing kit, or I can upgrade you to a posi unit, or for a gear change. And don't worry, I have all the essentials for your rear differential.
That sounded like it was going to be a porn movie there for a second.
Right.
I meant bearing kit when I said freshen up your rear. I meant bearing kit, as in Timken. Don't worry. This is G-rated. We can't go there. We got people watching.
All right, I'm Lou Santiago, host of Car Fix and co-host of Playing in Traffic, and working on a new project, GarageInsiderTV.com. And tonight our guest is Mark.
Hi, this is Mark Henry with Lizard Skin, and I'm the product manager for it. And all my buddies, they kind of get mad. They think all I do is just go to car shows for a living, but that's exactly what I do. And
That's because they're jealous.
They are. And, we do get to go visit a lot of shops, and we get to jump in, help with some applications and try some new stuff. And the product's pretty versatile, so it allows us to step out of the normal box and do stuff.
Nice. Now, what do you have a website or anything that people can go look at?
We do, lizardskin.com. And it's got a lot of great information on there. A lot of our past TV, a lot of applications are on there. Some demonstrations. And if you catch us at a show like this weekend, I'm in Bakersfield, California for the NSRA Western Nationals.
Yep.
And we have our famous griddle set up where we have our ceramic insulation on half of it. And we put the ice on it. It's heated up to 300 degrees, and you can actually touch it and feel how much it does reflect that heat away.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've actually used it. I've used it on a couple of projects. And what we did was we sprayed underneath the car, and then we sprayed inside the car.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I like about it is tintable. That's what I liked about it.
Right. Yeah. And actually now we got guys that are base coat, clear coating it, single stage urethane it. You can also put you can also put bed liners over it as well.
Wow.
We have our, besides the ceramic insulation, we have the sound deadening product, which is excellent underneath the car because it's a little heavier product. It's denser. It handles the road elements really well. It's completely waterproof. And you can put it under the fenders on your 30s, 40s, 50 model cars with the big external fenders.
Mm-hmm.
Protects paint from rock starring.
Dude, that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. You don't want to go.
And it gets added too, though.
You don't want to roll out of the body shop with a paint job and get a rock star on the way home.
No kidding. I'd be hot.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be so pissed. That's like 4 years of saving up every penny I could get to get a paint job like that. I'd be hot.
Right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
What's awesome about the product, too, that is on a properly prepared surface, though, it'll actually prevent rust. It's not a rust encapsulator, but it will actually stop rust on a properly
Tori
prepared
is obviously
surface.
your salesman for this evening. So Brian wants to know if there's any smell when it heats up. That's what Brian wants to know.
No, there's none. What's great about these products is they're water-based. So there's no toxins. There's no VOCs. They're both Class A fire rated, so they're non-combustible. They won't burn. There's no off-gassing at all.
Wow.
And I've got several stories where people have had engine fires, and it stayed into the engine bay area, never made it to the inside of the vehicle because of the lizard skin.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I got a couple.
That's great. That's awesome.
I had a guy a few weeks ago at Scottsdale at a Good Guy show, and he came in and told me he had a 55 Ford truck, and he was been out driving it all day and had to go somewhere. So he pulled it up in his garage, turned it off, got out, closed the garage, got in his other car, come back. Well, it had a gasoline leak and the engine caught on fire.
Oh, man.
And nobody was at home. And he had lizard skin on the firewall, floor pans, under the fenders, up in the ceiling, all the interior of the vehicle. The fire stayed just under the hood, never went anywhere else, saved the truck, and it also saved his house.
Holy
Wow.
shit. That's awesome.
That's a
No
good fire
kidding.
stop right there.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
I did use it when I was doing when I was doing muscle car, we used it
Mhm.
on RTM. I did use it, and that was the first time I'd ever used it. What I like about it is it comes with the gun, it comes with everything you need. That's what I liked about it more than anything else. Because I mean, I'm not a painter, so I don't want to have to sit there and try and figure out mixtures and ratios, and I want to be able to pour it in a can, dump, and go nuts. That's what I want to do.
Well, we've tried to make that gun as user friendly
It
as
is.
possible,
Mm-hmm.
and we include a wet mill gauge because we do want to build up a couple coats.
Right.
And depending on the car, we're going to do a couple 20,000 coats. I've had some other applications where we'll go 80, 100 mils. So it depends on what the application
Right.
is, what you're trying to achieve. You can go thicker. But we do have a wet mill gauge in there. We got the stirring paddle. It's single part, water-based, so nothing to add to it. And, the tip's full adjustable. You just open the thing up, get you a good pattern, and go for it.
Now, Al said several years back he wanted to do the inside of his Jeep. He had to inquire if there was an installation was available to make a footload. To take the footload, I'm sorry. He didn't receive an answer on the ability to take a footload. Can it be used without a top coat?
Yeah, it can. It can handle. That's another reason why we put it underneath the car too, so it handles road elements, stuff hitting it. Being in a truck, a Jeep, something like that with no carpet, it'll handle footwear. It'll handle throwing stuff on it. I mean, I wouldn't put it in a bed of a truck. Not designed for that. If I'm going to haul
Right.
like a rear end like Tory would, it wouldn't handle that. But it can handle foot traffic and people getting in and out, mud, dirt. It just hoses off, cleans up with water.
There you go, Al. If you would,
It'll be
if
great
Al
under a
would've waited a
headliner,
couple
though.
of years, he would have got his answer.
That's correct.
Impatient around.
Brian wants to know what the working PSI is.
You need a 5 CFM air compressor, and for the sound control, I like 55 PSI at the trigger. The ceramic insulation is a little more viscous, so I'll crank it up to about 65. And I'm looking for a baseball to a softball diameter pattern is what I'm looking for. So the instructions say open the tip up 2 full turns from closed position. Depending on ambient temperature, humidity, you may need to open it up 3-4 turns.
Right.
So just play with it. Get on a piece of cardboard. You're looking for the baseball to softball pattern. You get that, then you're okay.
Cool. Al's got another one with the belly up on the floorboard. Can't warm. With the belly up, the floorboard gets warm between the cat and the transmission and transfer case. So his Jeep is getting warm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the time we see the Jeeps, once you pull those carpets out, they get super hot.
Yeah, they do.
And we have rock crawler guys that are using this, regular Jeep guys running out in the deserts and everything. And, normally we're going to do 40 mils. We get some guys in some different applications, and you can go 60 mils. So say like over the transmission tunnel or something like that, you can go a third coat if you want to.
Yeah.
But most of the time, 40 mils is going to really do well at reflecting heat out.
Right.
So,
right.
And then also too, if they're running the hard tops, we have the ceramic insulation in white, and you can put a couple coats up in the ceiling. You get in a 95-degree day, and it'll pull 30 degrees of temperature out of the inside of the vehicle.
Yeah, yeah. Now Jason is saying he should have used it when he painted his Chevelle. He ended up using Hush Mat. But here's the thing, Jason. I can tell you this. What I usually do is I usually use something like lizard skin, and then I put Hush Mat over the top of it inside the car.
Right.
I don't rely on just one, because it's one of those things where some of the stuff I build, guys want it quiet like a Cadillac. You know what I mean? Even though it's a hot rod, they want it really quiet. So I use both. That's what I do.
Yeah, putting us down first is really good because we have that benefit of being a moisture barrier. And whereas some of those matte products, they're made out of rubber. And it's hard to get them to conform to all the different angles and shapes in the floor pan. And you could end up with some stagnant air gaps that'll trap some moisture. And it's also rubber. So rubber also heats up. So they absorb heat. So, you don't want that first. You want to get our ceramic insulation down.
Yeah.
That way you got the moisture barrier, you got the reflection of the heat out of there, and then you can go other things if you want to, or you can just build more coats of our product. I mean, we recommend 40 mils of thickness, but that's just a recommendation. Depending on what you want, you can do that 80, 100 mils. We got some racing guys that'll constantly do 80, 100 mils all the time.
Oh yeah, because they're living in that heat going around the track. Yeah, that makes sense.
Correct.
And it doesn't add a ton of weight.
No, the sound deadener, if you look at the deadening weight is one of the things that do it, but we've been able to formulate a sound deadening product that 2 gallons of it is 50 square foot of coverage, cures out at 21 pounds.
Wow, that's not bad.
Whereas you get a box of a matte product, 36 square foot is 90 pounds.
Yeah.
And then you get into our ceramic insulation, 50 square foot of that cures out at 6 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So you get super lightweight.
That's light.
Al wants to know if it cracks at that thickness. At 4,
it does not. No, what you want to do is it's building the coats up. So you want to shoot a 20,000 coat, let that dry to the touch. So depending on your ambient temperature, humidity, what part of the country you're in, it could take 15 minutes, or you're with us in Southeast Texas outside Houston. We got an 80% humidity.
Yeah.
It may take an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But let it dry the touch and then do your next coat. Dry the touch, do your next coat. Then it's not going to split and crack on you because you're letting it dry and cure as you're building it up.
Just like paint.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
What's your ideal temperature to shoot the
Well,
lizard
minimum,
skin
we
at?
want to be above 60 degrees. The product, if you get down in the 40s and 50s, being a water-based product, number one, it starts thickening up on you, which makes it a little harder to spray. And then it just doesn't want to dry under 50 degrees. It's not going to hurt it if you sprayed it. It's just not going to start curing till you get back up above 50s. So we like to stay above 60. And if you get up in those 70, 80 degrees, everything moves along a lot faster.
Right. And that's awesome. I knew it was versatile stuff, but I've only used it once.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I've never really played with it because I'm not the painter. So it's one of those things that I let the painter take care of. I don't mess with it.
Yeah, I mean it's easy. I mean, you don't have to be a painter to do it. And I'll tell customers when I see them at shows that if you can use an aerosol spray can, you're almost overqualified to use this.
So I guess all that graffiti back in the day will do me some good fun.
Do you some real good.
Right.
It's all in the prep. That's the hardest part is the prep. It's getting your primer down, getting it scuffed, tape off the areas you don't want it on, protect the bolt holes for seats and seat belts, stuff like that. And, once you get it prepped, I mean, you can go through a 68 Camaro and do 5 minutes.
That's not bad at all.
I have a 68 Camaro. Maybe
No, Corey, you're not going to get to
send the
use it.
pallet
No.
up. Send the pallet up.
Brian wants to know about leveling.
Well, you know what? All kidding aside, though, all the cars that are done up here, though, we buy stuff, from Mark's York every time we go up there, whether it's, 1 kit, 2 kits, somebody always needs something. And the product is just so darn good. It's foolish not to use it.
I'm just gonna tell you had the perfect opportunity to start a Dr. Seuss kit box there. You said 1 kit, 2, 3. Right. You should have went 3, 4, 5 kit. You know what I mean? You should. We had a Dr. Seuss thing going right there. You could have done lizard skin and Dr. Seuss. It would have been awesome.
It all.
Green eggs and ham, Sam. I am. Hey, let's go.
I want to let everybody know in Facebook on Playing in Traffic Facebook and Lou Santiago, I just posted the link to Lizard Skin, so you can just hit the link and go check out their website.
Now, Brian wants to know if it's self-leveling. I said that, but then I got on Dr. Seuss, so
it will. I mean, it is a viscous product, so just think about pancake batter or a malt. It's kind of that viscosity to it. So it's easy to build and it takes a lot to make it run. So, you do want to, when you're spraying it in, you're just going to overlap your patterns and I always like to go for a single coat. I'll go east west, and then a north south, and say 24 by 24 area of the car. And then once I get it there, I can spot check it, make sure I'm around that 20 mils. And then if I need a little more, okay, I'll go a little more. But generally, east west, north south is going to get you real close.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Very cool. So when I get ready to do my next car, I'll have to give you a holler. I'll just put that out there right now.
That's no problem. I'll come help you do it.
We can do that.
That'd be nice to go down to the.
And
That'd be nice
garage
to go down to the new shop and do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Because I mean, see, my thing is it's all about the teaching.
Right.
When it's amazing how when I go to shows and they'll want me to sign autographs. I was at a show in West Virginia. In 4 hours, I signed 2 autographs, but I must have talked to 100 guys about their cars.
Right.
Because they've got questions, and if I can answer them, I'd rather answer them than give them an autograph. And it's all about the teaching, because if you don't know about the product, people aren't going to use it.
Right.
I mean, I've used Line-X on cars inside and out for sound deadening. I've used Gravitex. I've used Lizard Skin. I'll try different things, but if no one ever sits there and says why you want to use it, and they don't explain what you got to do, they just say, here it is. This is the most I've learned about any of the, and I'm just going to say sound deadening products. How about that? Because I mean, I know it does have some sound deadening capabilities, but I didn't know that yours was ceramic, and I've used it.
Right. Well, what we've done though is we have the 2 products. We got the sound control, which is for sound deadening.
Right.
And if we get that in a car, and then when you're looking at sound deadening something, you want to think about it stopping that sound. So you want to really look at encapsulating the whole interior, not just the firewall floor pan. Mm-hmm. We want in the door skins, in the quarter panels, in the ceiling, in the trunk.
Right.
You want to get everywhere. Sound moving through a car is like water looking for a leak in a pipe. So if you got 3 or 4 leaks and you plug 2 of them, they just move on down and find another place to leak. So
now, all right, say we got the body on the rotisserie. Mm-hmm. Should the underneath of the car be painted, or is just like an epoxy primer good enough and scuff it down?
Epoxy primer is fine. And if your timing is good with epoxy primers, you got about a 3-day window with no scuffing.
Right.
So, you get that primer down, and if you're ready to go the next day with Lizard Skin, then you don't even have to scuff it. So that saves a step in prep right there.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we did up here, too. We just did the epoxy primer and over it. It was a home run. And one thing that, I would be remiss if I didn't say, when you put the Lizard Skin, you have to put the sound deadening on first, and the ceramic coating goes on over it. But I can't stress the importance enough of putting it on the underside of the roof, because not only does it keep the heat out, but if your car has air conditioning, so you keep the cool air in as well. And the one test that you convinced me on, Marks, when we first met how many years ago in York, was that griddle you had there, and one side was had the Lizard Skin on it, and the other side was bare. And
I've seen it.
Check this out. There's the big red letters.
I've seen
touch hot. Some guy goes up there and he goes like this, and you hear his skin actually sizzling. He's like, that's hot.
I mean, I've seen the grill test. Dude, I really have, and it works. I knew that. But the thing is, there's a lot of products out there, but nobody goes through and explains, the mill thickness and it's water based. You know what I mean? A lot of people just don't do that. And that, to me, that makes a huge difference. You know what I mean? Like I've always made sure that the underneath of the car was painted, inside the car was painted, it got scuffed, and then it was shot with whatever, and then, you have stuff that's not tintable. Like I knew it was tintable just because we did it on the show. But the thing is, you get a lot of stuff it's black and you can't tint it. So now you're spraying underneath the car, and you're using it natural brake at the toe board where the seam is between the firewall and the floor. Mm-hmm. That's where you do your brake, because you don't want the black to come up any higher than that. There's just different things that you got to do. And it's just nice to know that if a guy wants it on a car and he doesn't want black, you can sell him on, hey, you can tint this. That's what's so good about it.
Well, the easier thing to do is just to apply the lizard skin like it is in black, then get your body color and just paint it. That's the easiest way to go about it. Yeah. Now we can go a step further. Is you can hit it with a single stage urethane, still have a little bit of texture to it, but you'll have your body color. But we can go to a high build primer, block that out smooth, and you can go into a base coat clear coat. And it'll be smooth as slick as outside the car. So we'll have some builders that'll do the engine bay firewall. They'll do under the hood, but it's base coat clear coated and you can't even see the product, but it still doesn't affect how the product works.
I never thought of the self-coating primer. That's an awesome idea. I didn't know that's awesome.
That's a whole game changer.
So, and that's the easiest way to do it. And then when you look at the other sound deadening products, most of them don't have any way to insulate too.
Right.
So they put foil on the top because they got a lot of heat absorption. But putting our sound deadener first at 40 mils and then putting the ceramic insulation right on top of it at 40 mils, you got 80 mils total. So people think that's a big number, but that's only as thick as 2 dimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's hitting everything too, because you're
it's hitting everything. Yeah.
Right.
You get all the cracks, crevices. Yeah. You're getting it all. It's there's be no air gaps there. Nothing.
Right. The big areas people miss and they don't think about is getting inside those door skins.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a lot of noise there, quarter panels, and that's what's cool about this product. It's so versatile that it can get in those areas.
Yeah.
And then you also get that seamless membrane, and it's completely waterproof. So you get rain in there, it's just going to drain out the door, and it's not going to sit there and start corroding again.
Yeah, that's awesome. And someone put some. Jason wanted to know about the vids on the videos on the site. Do you have before and after application stuff on the website, on your site?
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Jason. They got it. Go to the site and look, Jason.
There's videos on there and we've had a lot of customers that send video. Yeah, they'll send them in for us. They'll do them and then send it to us.
Got you. There you go. See, Joseph. Now he says, "Leave me alone." Look, we do not have a crying room like Utah. Okay, we don't have that here. This morning on the radio, they were saying that one of the colleges in Utah in the library has a crying room. If you get upset and you need a moment, you can go into a closet and cry. There's no closet where you can cry here.
No.
Oh God. We call that college calculus.
Right.
I can't spell calculus, much less do it.
I'll give him that one.
So anyway. So
back on topic.
You're saying I can epoxy primer. If I shoot it within 3 days, I can do the sound deadening, and then on top of that, I can shoot the the original lizard skin. Is that the right order?
Right. Well, what we want to do, you want to do the sound control first, because we want to you want to capture those metal vibrations. So we want that to go first. But then after the sound control is applied, you want to give it 24 hours to cure. Then we'll put the ceramic on top of it.
Okay.
And there's something even better too. On top of the ceramic, they have a top coat as well.
Yeah.
Right.
To go over the ceramic.
Yeah, we a couple years ago we came out with a top coat paint that's in an aerosol can, 18 square foot per can, and it's a black. It's got a little grit to it. So someone that had like the Jeep earlier, you can put the lizard skin in there, put this top coat over it. You get a little grip. When your feet get muddy, dirty, it just hoses out with water, gives you a nice semi-black gloss to it.
That's awesome. That's freaking awesome. I mean, it really is. It really is. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. Or even under the fenders. You know, if you want to put it under the fenders, get a
Yeah,
little gloss
yeah,
under the
yeah.
fenders, you can do that as
I
well.
like that. I like that. I mean, I knew it was versatile, but I had no idea it was that versatile. Okay, so now I have a question
Right.
for Lewis Lee.
Wasn't me.
Do we know if Ray is around? Because I know Ray has got.
Yeah, hold on. I just want to say goodnight to Marks. I'm going to jump off and let Ray come in for round two.
I was going to jump off and let Ray come in, but if you're going to do it, that's fine, Tori. Because that way we can. Because
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
because
I talked to Tori 2 or 3 times a
yeah, I
week
know
anyway.
I talked to him too, so it's okay. But
Yeah, so it's
Tori has a lot of time on his hands. He talks to everybody.
he's retired, so it's okay. But
Mark, it was great seeing you. I'm glad that we were able to finally get you on the show. And we'll catch up, in a day or so, okay?
All right, Tori. I
Enjoy
appreciate
the
it
show.
very much.
all right, so
All right,
Thank
good
you.
night, Marks.
when Ray
Thank you,
comes
buddy.
in,
Take
Mark,
care.
we'll let him introduce himself. Because I don't. Have you ever met Ray? Ray
don't think
Guarino.
so.
All right. Here he comes.
Here he comes. Here he is. Ray,
All right.
tell everyone who you are, and then I know you got a question for Marks. I know you do. You do.
I'll tell you. The first part is easy. Ray Guarino, Chief Cheech in charge at Motormouth Radio here in New York. We do a weekly car show, radio show all about cars. And I got to say, I feel like I'm the third contestant on Match Game. You know, like the first guy always gets to pick of the great answers. The second one, okay, there's usually enough. The third guy is always screwed because everybody gave a good answer. You guys really nailed it. You did such a great interview with Marks. I'm sitting here listening to it. I said, I got nothing to ask him. Everybody asked everything. We're talking about mill thickness and top coating and bottom coating. I'm like, oh, shit. But I tell you, very informative. The product sounds fantastic. I haven't used it myself, and I should on my car because I still have a lot of bare metal that I could see in the interior. The one thing I didn't hear you talk about, Marks, was purchasing it. Is it best to get it through the web, or how do you recommend people buy this stuff?
Well, on lizardskin.com, we do have a good distribution network. And on lizardskin.com, there's a little shopping cart. You can click on there. And it shows all of our distributors, and you got the Summits and the Jegs and CJ Pony Parts and State, Yogis, CNC out of South Dakota. So we're pretty, we're covered real well across the country. And then you can drill down into the states, and we'll have some local dealers that'll be in each state. So if they're close to you and you want to just drive over and get it from them, you can. If you want to order it online from the other places, you can do that as well. Besides the U.S., we're also up in Canada. So we're a lot of places in Canada that people can get it at.
Tori just typed in something that I like to do. He said if you're at a show, you could buy it at a show and maybe get a show price as well, which is great.
Right. Yeah. When I'm at a show, we'll do a show special, and we try to get coast to coast if we can. I mean, there's so many shows you could wear the tires off a truck trying to get to shows. But this weekend we're at the NSRA Western in Bakersfield, California. Starts tomorrow, and then I'll be over in York, Pennsylvania later in the year there, and back to the 50s up in Minnesota, and the NSRA National, Louisville, Kentucky, and the Good Guy Nationals in Columbus, Ohio. So we'll try to get around as much part of the country as we can.
Watch it.
I just wanted to see if you were awake, Lewis. I wasn't sure. Marks, do you find that any segment of the car hobby, and you mentioned a lot of NSRA events, but is there any segment that purchases more of your product than others?
I haven't noticed it. The big thing we do at shows, I mean, we do bring some product to sell, but that's not the main reason we're there. I'm there to teach people about the product. I want to do the education, show them how the sound deadener works, show them how the insulation works, and, talk to them about where to put it on that car and things they can do with it. And we do bring a little bit of product there just because some people have a project, they want it right then. and so we'll have it available for them. But we don't bring a ton of product. We're there more for education and teach people
There you
about
go.
this product.
Yeah, sounds good.
So
Yeah.
I went on Facebook just now to see if there's any questions that anyone might have, and I saw a fact 204, that donuts are healthier than meth. Just letting you guys know that.
I think I would agree with that. Yeah, long term, I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably
It's
true.
just- I saw it, so I figured I had to throw it out there. It's a healthy fact.
And
I
I
know
don't
you gotta
even know-
watch though. You hear stuff on the internet, it might not be true.
It might be fake news. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out there.
I really don't even know if you could argue that they're as much or more fun. I really, I don't know. That's an interesting one. Yeah,
Donut- well, and Jason
Right.
says donuts aren't flammable. So
right. There's that. Unlike the Ford bushings that I was burning out today that were pretty flammable. I hate doing suspension work. Lou, I don't know how you
Right.
do all that chassis and suspension work. I do shackles on a Mustang, and, the stuff was in there since 66. So I just, give me the torch. Just light this thing up. That's it.
it's not a big deal. Just quit being a girly man and do it.
Well, that's why I said just give me the torch and let's go at it, man. Make a lot of smoke and drip hot rubber on ourselves, and it's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, good stuff.
not a big deal.
But you don't have to worry about the lizard
There
skin
you
because
go.
it won't
Yeah,
run.
that's great.
So it's
I
completely
was
fireproof.
listening to the stories about the guy's car who burned and then saved the didn't get past the engine compartment. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
Right.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's impressive. That really is. I
Yeah.
mean, save the house, save the
Yeah.
car. That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were gone. And there was another story last year at Back to the 50s. Had a customer came in that had a late 40s sedan delivery, and he was having a fuel problem with it. Fuel pump wasn't working, and they kind of worked on it there, and it couldn't. So he got another fuel pump and just disconnected his, hooked a new one in line, and they wanted to just load it up into his enclosed trailer. Well, he was halfway in, about where his driver's door was at the end of the trailer, and that old pump started working. And it pumped fuel all over the engine, caught on fire, and he had flames coming out from under the hood. They were coming up 4 foot out on the outside of the car. And luckily, it had a side door, and a buddy came in and pushed the car back so he could get out of the car. He was trapped because of the trailer. And he told me that it did melt the paint on the fenders, the hood, delaminated the windshield. He never felt any heat on the interior of the
Holy
vehicle.
shit.
And it stayed right there, and no smoke, no nothing. It said he didn't even get hot
Maybe-
inside the car, but he knew he.
Maybe you guys should be looking
it
for
was
like
burning.
a NASA contract or something.
It's NASA. It is not NASA.
What?
It's
NASA?
NASA. God, get it right.
I see.
Yeah.
All my life. That's
Well,
what
one
I
of
heard.
the
What did I tell you? All right. So now I stand corrected.
Well, I can tell you, we just got certified through the national or the NHRA for top fuel dragsters and funny cars, that they're putting those products in there now because of the heat reflection, and
And
it's
God knows they
non-flammable.
make some heat when they start
So-
running.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they make a lot of heat, especially they get an explosion.
Yeah.
That's where they really gets
Yeah.
dangerous.
That's awesome. Holy shit. That's impressive, man.
It
That
really
really is impressive.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah.
And you can get out of cars and start thinking about other things where you get
Right,
sound
right.
and heat issues. So, recording studios or a TV studio or HVAC ductwork, you can stop
Yeah.
condensation and insulate it, make the AC more effective.
Yeah.
So the big industry right now is the Sprinter vans in the RV market right now. The
Yep.
Sprinter vans,
Mhm.
real thin metal, but they condensate real fast. They're hard to insulate, and our product is taking
Nice.
care of that job.
Yeah. And they got a lot of metal. The sides are so tall.
Right.
That's a lot to insulate. Yeah.
Right.
And if you can kill the sound in it, because the metal's thin. Everything that's new now
Yeah.
is thin metal. Wow.
Right. And it's and being that thin, it's actually pretty easy to sound deaden it. But the problems they were having with the stick-on stuff is the sides were getting so hot they were sliding down. It wouldn't stay stuck.
Oh, I got
So,
you.
Yeah,
Looks
right. And then
that's awesome.
with us being a spray in, we can actually get, besides the sidewalls, you can get over all the rib support
Mhm.
structures as well. And you can block that sound and everything that would come
Jason
through
wants
there.
to know what the temperature limits temperature limits are of the lizard skin.
The ceramic insulation will handle minus 45 to 500 degrees direct contact. With air gaps, I can be half-inch from a set of headers at 1,000 degrees.
Holy shit!
and reflect heat. The sound deadener minus 45 to 350. So that's why we put that on first. Put the ceramic right
Wow.
on top of it.
Yeah,
To the inside
Oh,
of my
and,
drum skins.
yeah, that'd be pretty. Yeah, your drum skins.
Right?
Just to let you guys know, Jason wanted to know about that Aero Coupe. We did not do the Aero Coupe. We just, did the other engine. So the Aero Coupe, even though that car was really nice, we didn't do the LS in it. So that went back to its owner. So just to let you know, because Jason was asking, and so was Keith. But we had a really nice Aero Coupe on the show. I think it was show 2. It had like 20,000 miles on it. Car was nice, real nice. So I answered that.
Just to let everybody know, the show that Lou's putting together now, Garage Insider, will show from the start to finish.
Yeah,
Not like Car Fix would show you a piece and then you're wondering what happened. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind when the show starts.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah. Because there's a need for it. There's a huge
Right.
need for it, Marks. It's ridiculous how, because the bottom line is the networks they want standalone shows, but the problem is you're gonna a lot of the stuff you can't do standalone. You got to do 2-3 shows in a lot of instances. And yes, Keith, if
That's
you have
right.
a question about CarFix, I will answer it. So, but yeah, it's one of those things. We're gonna do some stuff, and I could see the lizard skin guys when I do the cab over, because I'm planning on building a cab over truck on the show. I'm gonna stretch it and do all that. That would be perfect because when you lift up the cab over, when you lift up the cab, you got all that thick old school insulation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like house insulation with the tin foil. Right. You could eliminate so much by using that. That would be the deal.
Right. Yeah, those old mats there, they would stick them on, and the problem is they absorb moisture quite a bit, and then they get heavy, and then they end up falling off. And you get on a cab over, I mean, you're like riding on a pizza oven. I mean, you got heat. There's nowhere for it to go, so you got to have something that will effectively reflect that heat back and not let it penetrate into that cab.
That's going to be the deal, underneath and inside. Yeah. Because I'm actually planning when I do finally start doing it. I'm planning on lowering the floor more, because if you look at them, you got to crawl over the engine cover to get in the back, because the floor is so high. You look underneath it. There's probably a good foot of room between the engine and the bottom of the floor. So I'm gonna try and lessen that, just to give yourself a little more room. It doesn't make sense to me to have it so high.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Jason's talking about what's the deal with Motor Trend and Velocity. Well, I will tell you what happened. Discovery bought all of the digital properties that Motor Trend owned when it was Source Interlink. Motor Trend bought all that stuff, and that's who owned it for the last couple of years. And now Discovery turned around, and I think it was Discovery proper, not just Velocity, because Velocity is part of the Discovery family. They bought all the digital content like Roadkill and all that, and they put it on their site. So now it's a paid site instead of being on YouTube only and a free site. And then because Motor Trend has a better name as far as time goes, the brand is bigger, they changed Velocity to Motor Trend. I think they did that like last week. So there you go, guys.
Yeah, I was getting the mailings like crazy to subscribe. They're giving you a free week.
Yeah,
crap.
yeah.
And I said no. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. But they want to make it's all about distribution. At the end of the day, guys, it's all about distribution.
Yeah.
You know, and right now the internet is what's going to be king for distribution. That's what's happening.
As long as they can charge for it, as long as they can
Right.
bill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly, and that's what they're trying to do.
Right.
They're trying to make it where everything is paid. I guarantee you. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and Keith is saying that he subscribed to Motor Trend when it was $25 a year.
Mm.
And Jason, my show, the show I'm standing up now is GarageInsiderTV.com. It's going to be online, so you'll have like the 2-minute snips on YouTube and all that, and there'll be a regular like half-hour show that'll be on GarageInsiderTV.com, and there's also a forum, GarageInsiderTV.com. On the forum, there'll be like magazine-style articles that'll be done, and Lewis Lee will also have the magazine-style articles on All Ends Magazine, which is also online. Everything is going to be online for where we're going. So that's what we're doing. So like for example, if we have Marks on there for Lizard Skin, when we shoot the stuff with Marks, he gets a copy of that stuff. He can put it on his site, and then we put it up in the show and on our site. And then we basically have people running back and forth, you know, because they're going to be going to both sites. And yes, I'll need coffee, Vince. But that's the plan on how we're planning on working it. And we got to have the little 2-minute snippets for YouTube and all that. Say someone wants to learn how to narrow a rear end, we can do that in 2 to 3 minutes, put it on YouTube, and then that way you can see it being done. And you get it step by step, as to where if it's in the show, it would be like the standard, you know, show thing. We'll be right back, and the rear end is done.
Yeah.
But you can always find everything.
Right.
You'll be able to find everything on the website, the 2-minute snippets, the shows. So we'll have it all over the place.
Yeah, we should talk about that, because possibly maybe we should do is also simulcast that over on our website, give you more exposure.
Not a problem. We can do that.
Yeah.
I can send you copies of the show, and you can post them up, and we can do whatever we need to do, Ray.
Right.
I mean, at that point, it's easy. Yeah.
Good.
Because we gotta and me and Lewis have talked about this. The way I see things going is you've got to partner up with people, because at the end of the day, you're not going to get the advertising money that TV gets. You know, it's just not going to happen, because it's the internet. But all the marketing people, they have some kind of formula where it makes the jump to money with clicks. However many clicks you get, that's where they make the jump to real money. So, I mean, I know we're going to have to charge people to survive, but it's not going to be the ridiculous kind of money that TV wants. And we're not going to put time limits on someone. You know, like if Marks was to do something on one of the networks, they'll say, yeah, you can use it for 6 months and air it on your site. But after 6 months, we need to talk about it, because you need to pay more. I don't care. I want him to run it for the next 20 years, because as long as the site's up, someone's going to go on his site that has not seen our show, and they're going to come to my show. And that's where I get the clicks from. So it's important for me to build those relationships where people want to put it on their site, because I need them to come from Mark's site to my site, and my site to his site. We got to do that, because that's the only way it's going to work. The only way it's going to work.
Right. And we'll also, we have a TV I use in the booth too.
Yeah.
And I run a loop of shows and stuff that we have done, and, you know, pictures of customer cars and things like that. But I'll have people, they'll stand out there for 30, 40 minutes watching those little segments from the TV shows, and they'll see the applications and what we're doing there. And it's, you know, it's way you learn about using the products is being able to look at it on YouTube.
Yeah. You have to. You've got to get people to work with you, because you know, and I know I've said this before, it's all about the distribution. You know, the TV networks have had distribution locked up forever. Well, with the internet now, distribution is changing.
Right.
You know what I mean? TV isn't the end all be all that it used to be. It's really not. They're having trouble.
Right.
So right now it's like the Wild West. If you can get in there on the internet and get a really good following, they're not gonna they're gonna have a hard time getting rid of you, or they're gonna have to buy you out. We lost Mark. We lost Marks. Get him back, Lou. Get him back.
He's still there, just no picture.
Here we go with the no picture thing.
It must be the internet thing because I heard him breaking up a little bit. His audio was a little breaking up.
Yeah, his audio was breaking up a little. I did notice that.
Yeah.
Well, let me reboot him here.
Don't go anywhere. Notice I'm in my lowrider seat today, guys.
I noticed that. You're definitely riding low tonight. That's cool. Very good. Yeah, that's cool.
So, Ray, don't forget to get Mark's information because you need to have him on the show.
Absolutely, yeah.
Tori has it, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I figured he would, yeah.
Because that's who brought him on.
Right.
So we can make it happen.
I figured he would, yeah.
All right.
He's back!
I'm back. Yeah, I hear from Tori quite a bit, but I did. I met him at an NSRA show, him and his buddies in York, and then just, fast friends right away.
He's a great guy, man.
He is.
He's a great guy.
69 C10 I'm trying to work on when I'm home, and he's going to do the rear end for me, and I hadn't pulled it out yet, so he keeps every week, have you pulled that rear end out and sent it up here yet? So I told him I'm going to try to get it done before York so he can bring it back to me at the York show.
You want you want a 4-bar for it?
Yeah.
I'm serious. I got some I got a bunch of, I got 4 bars and with polyurethane bushings in them and everything. Man, I do my own laser cut brackets.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got tired of buying stuff that you got to carve on for an hour to make it fit. So
yeah,
I taught myself how to use Mastercam, and now I do my own brackets. I've been doing it, since before Muscle Car. I've been doing it.
Right.
Yeah. So I design all my own brackets now.
Yeah, those old stock trailing arms those trucks had with the coilovers is not the best system.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you need a set, let me know.
Okay.
I can take care of you.
Well, we can get a hold of that.
Yeah. And what I do is, I don't think I have a picture on my phone anymore, but I built all my own fixtures for the rod ends and the bars, everything. I got some cool stuff. Lewis, do you have any pictures of the 4-bar stuff?
Maybe.
He's got pictures of all kinds of shit. He's got stuff, he's got stuff. I'm like, wow, I didn't know you had that.
Hold on.
As crazy as it is,
the internet. Hey, anything can be bought.
Yeah. I mean, but that's
right.
And I designed a bunch of stuff so the bars are a little bit higher than most guys use. Mm-hmm. That way you don't have to put the piece on the frame because the bracket's too low.
Right.
You can actually make it where it lands on the frame. So that the bars are nice and high, everything's out of the way. Yeah, I've put a lot of thinking into this.
Right.
I don't do much thinking, but that stuff I do think about.
Yeah. But when I do think, I make it count.
Yeah, when I do think, exactly. When I think, I make it worthwhile. That's a T-shirt. I better write that down.
Yeah, you better write that down.
I may not think often, but when I do.
I find myself every night, I'll be working at the shop during the day and I come home and that's now my routine for going to sleep. I'm like thinking about how to fix the problem of the day the next day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it puts me to sleep every time. And sometimes the problem
you can't remember that you solved the problem.
Exactly. Right. Here's the answer. Go back to sleep. Quick, figure it out.
Yeah, I'll get into doing these shows and I start talking to the customers about the different products over and over again. And then you explain to one of them, it's like, man, did I already tell him that? because you repeat
No,
it so many
that's
times.
just CRS, Marks. That's just CRS. That's all that is.
I mean, you say it to so many people. Yeah, you talk to so many people after a while, you don't remember what you did. Yeah,
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's amazing how much. It's amazing. You don't think you talk to so many people, and then you stop and think about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you get into SEMA or PRI, and it's just it gets overwhelming sometimes. Just the amount of people you talk to.
Yeah. And Vince noticed that I trimmed at my goatee. Yeah, I got a bunch of welding to do underneath the car tomorrow. I didn't feel like setting it on fire because it was about an inch below the welding shield.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So I figured I just beat it to the punch and
Right.
shave it down.
It'll grow back.
Yeah, exactly. I usually set it on fire. That's when I trim it. So this time I just did it backwards.
Yeah,
I got it done
I had
sooner.
rubber stuck in mine. I'm pulling pieces of molten rubber.
Yeah.
Ow, damn, ow, ow. Yeah, should have worn that face shield.
Right.
Oh well.
Yeah. I do it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I came up one time and half of it was just burnt. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah. Okay, I got to contour the other side now. Make it look symmetrical, right?
No, I had to shave it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had to get rid of it that time. It was
Uh-oh.
bad.
That's bad.
Yeah, it was real bad.
That's
That
funny.
was the first time I shaved it off since I retired from the Navy. It had to go.
Yeah. Now, did your wife like you better with it or without it?
Oh, she would much rather have me without it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she doesn't like it.
I shaved my face clean a number of years ago. My wife's like, it took her a while to get used to it. Like, who is that guy across the table? But she said, hey, I kind of like you with it because I'm so used to it. I'm like, yeah, I guess. Well, comes and goes. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah.
Hey Lou, I'm in your Google Photos, but I see rear ends but no front ends.
Yeah, the rear 4-bar brackets.
Okay, wait a minute.
Let's back up. Which one are you in? Are you in Swan Shop or Garage Insider?
I am in Swan Shop.
There should be some in there.
Okay, hold on. Let me see here.
Look at some of the older pictures. So I know there's some in there, Marks. I know it.
That's no problem.
Yeah, we've seen them.
Yep.
So do you guys have any? So do you have any new products coming up on the horizon?
I mean, we're working on some stuff right now and looking at some higher heat applications. We've got some, different requests from different stuff. A lot of it is, coming out of the armored cars and stuff going over into the desert areas where they get some extremely high temp. On the industrial side, we developed a high temp coating for Goodyear to use on their tire molds, and it'll handle over 3,600 degrees.
Holy shit,
Yeah,
man.
we haven't figured out a way to bring it into the automotive deal, but for that manufacturing part of it and tire molds, it's able to control the heat and let them make more tires per hour without the molds overheating.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Many years ago, I worked in a machine shop. I did plastic injection molding, and we used to use there was always a mold release agent, and nothing really worked right. There was always some sticking, especially when we would mold Teflon. And this stuff sounds like it would be perfect for that application.
Yeah, so we got some other things we're working on, kind of R&D. We're looking at headers and things like that. Some things we can go beyond what your normal ceramic insulation that they put on them now, which is more of a ceramic coating.
Mhm.
It doesn't really
Right.
reflect a lot of heat. So we want to look at some stuff at what we can do to bring the underhood heat down.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. The thing that I've noticed about a lot of the ceramic coatings, some of them will take the hose and stick it in the pipe and pull it through while it's spraying and get some in there.
Right.
The thing that I've always noticed about a lot of them is getting inside
Right.
the pipe on
Right.
the headers. And and I don't know if it would be worth it or not, but I always thought dunking it. If you could just dunk it,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and when and you know what I mean. And then when it drips off, it basically self levels, and you don't have all the hangers ons. I think that would be the deal.
Yeah.
The only thing that would concern me with doing it that way is how much ID would you lose?
Right.
Depending on what you use.
Yeah.
But I think that would be, to me, the most efficient way to do it, because then you have 100% coverage.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I don't know how it was applied, but I had my my vintage headers and collectors jet hot coated many years ago,
Right.
and they do cool down fast. They're not nowhere near.
Oh yeah,
hot.
Right.
Ooh,
yeah.
well, that's expensive.
I've had headers. I've had stuff that I've built with jet hot on it, and it works good.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the chemical makeup is of it, but it works well.
Yeah,
it really does.
I've used that stuff before too.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't look bad. I've seen some coatings that are just like, okay, it looks really bad. There was one that I forgot who it was, but it was black, and it just did not look right.
Yeah.
It was all splotchy from the heat.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Tiny spots and flat spots. It just I don't know if it was, if they put it on metal or stainless. It just didn't look right though.
Right.
It looked cheap.
I don't-
It looked cheap.
Yeah.
That's what it
I
did.
don't remember the company, but my friend turned me on to this stuff that he used. He sprayed it on with an airbrush, and I did the header on my Fiat with this stuff, and it's no jet hot by any means. It still looks good years later. I don't think it has the same thermal properties, but again, it was a lot less expensive too. So there's some alternatives out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for right now, we're just strictly, working on, keeping the heat out of the inside of the car and keeping the sound down out of the inside of the car and focus right now. And then we'll play with these other things. If we can get them to where we want them, we'll bring them out. If we won't, we're not going to bring them out.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Ray.
You don't want. You don't want to do
Ray, I'm going to bump you off for a minute so I can just pull the pictures up.
Sure, go right ahead.
For some reason, this system won't let us do multiple.
I know. If it would let, we had another one we were using that would let us have 6.
Yeah.
That's the 8.8 that I'm doing. And
Cool.
those tabs on the housing, I just designed in laser cut. Matter of fact, those plates at the top of the jack stands,
Right.
those jack stands I've had since high school. And the UPS lady knocked a Suburban off the jack stands
Wow.
and bent them. So I made a set of tall ones so I could work on stuff. And I made those plates.
I was looking at that. I was like, you can't buy those at the store.
I like
So
them when
I
up
did that.
high. You don't want to be bending over.
Right. And see, my back is all fouled up, so I just can't stand there and be bent over like that, welding all the time.
The heck no.
It just sucks. Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah,
That's
there you
a
go.
pretty
Looks
bloody
good.
picture.
That's all right. I can see it.
But I actually made it so it fits between the 2 existing brackets for the lower trailing arm.
Right.
That's how I made it so it fits. So yeah, that's the way to do it.
Oh yeah.
And it's just stuff that I've figured out. I need to make it, so I make it. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yep.
I get some quick measurements, and as long as I know what the hole centers are, I can make the bracket.
Right.
So it's not a problem because everything is made in the computer first.
Right.
See, that's a 2-inch drop leaf spring block,
That's awesome.
and I make it flat, and then you just fold it up, weld it, bam,
Right.
done. 2-inch block, and you don't have to use it. You don't have to put an aluminum block in there, and it's just stuff that I've come up with, all kinds of crazy
Yeah.
shit over the years. There it is.
And it'll make the ride better and everything else.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about the block trying to shoot out the back end,
Right.
like they like to do. And then there's SpongeBob and Plankton. You got to have that.
Oh yeah.
I know there's. That's when we went to the Duesenberg Museum.
Yeah,
That was
a nice
last
trip.
year. That was a hell of a trip. That was a great trip. That was
Hey,
a show
this-
we did.
Sexy lady in this picture. Wonder who that
Was,
is.
yeah, keep going. I know they're more further down. There's some. I know there's better pictures down there of some of the stuff. That's England. That was Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm doing that show this weekend. That was last year. There's right there. Go up. Scroll down a little, Lewis, to that Camaro, the convertible.
Mhm.
Right there, the rear end pictures on the right. There's two pictures there.
Oh.
See how that comes up. See, I made all that bracketry,
Right.
and that's a torque arm.
That looks good.
It's a torque arm setup. But I made all the back brace. I actually retubed that rear end, Marks.
Wow.
That was a 9-inch Ford from a coil spring car, and
Right.
you know they swedged the top of it so it's flat, so the spring can sit on it.
Right.
And it's 3 1/4 inch diameter, and then out by the end of the bearing housing, they swedge it down to 3 1/8. So when a lot of guys narrow them, you get this wacky step, and it doesn't look right.
Right.
So I cut the tubes out and retubed it with 3 1/4 188 wall DOM,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just made all the brackets to fit everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was real good, real clean looking.
Yeah, and then I TIG welded everything up. I put a drain plug in it. I made the drain plug a little high because I didn't want it to be too low.
Right.
So I put it up a little high. This way you can get, most 90% of the oil out.
Right.
But there's there should be some the brackets on my Suburban. Those are the ones that land right on the frame. They land perfect on the frame.
Suburban.
Where is it? Yeah, that was SEMA 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, that's SEMA. That's some jet equipment. That was school. That's the show.
There's your
God, I
box.
take a lot. And I don't even take a lot of pictures.
Just add up.
Do you know Cecil at Hercules Motor Car Company, Marks?
Yeah.
He's the landlord for Brenton Productions.
Really?
Yeah, he's down. Yeah, I see Cecil every time I go down there to do the
Okay.
show.
Right.
Yeah. That's at the school. That's when we rebuilt the front end on the S10. I part-time teach at
Here's-
Central Piedmont Community College.
Oh,
Here's
nice.
Cecil stuff.
That's Cecil stuff there.
Right.
That 32 Woody is the Woody that they gave away at the NSRA event last year
Okay.
at the Nats.
Is his shop there to the left of the studio shop?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the porch we did. That's the Duster that we worked on, the lowrider.
Right.
This is season 5, I think. That's the Jeep we did. We put a Ford Super Duty front and rear end
Right.
underneath that Jeep. That was when we converted oh wait, here, you're going to love this. Where's it at? Right there, the steering column. Those steering column pictures. No, not in the Woody. Scroll down a little.
Here.
In the left, right above the Suburban. Right there, those steering column pictures. My friend had an 85 Kenworth. He just sold it. And the old steering column was just a straight tube with the bearings like from a bicycle.
Right.
So we put the big Peterbilt Unibuilt opening in it. And while the guy did that, I got a column out of a 97 because we did it at a yard for rigs.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a column out of a 97. That's the 97 column. I cut it down and made it fit in his 85, so it's tilt telescopic.
Oh, that's nice.
That's what I cut out of it.
Right.
There it is.
That's awesome.
And there it is in the truck.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Jim is 6'5", so
He needed that.
he needed room.
Yep.
That stuff, that bottle there,
Right.
I got it from, I can't remember the name of the place I got it from. I got it years ago, but it's for welding, so you put it on the panel so you don't get warpage and all that. It's a
Right.
heat sink basically.
Right.
That stuff is the best stuff for drill bits.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's like a paste, and I can't find it. I ran out, and I can't find it anymore.
Uh-oh.
But you get a little hole going with the drill bit, and it's a paste. You just put some in the hole.
Right.
Bit doesn't even get hot.
That's nice.
It doesn't. I mean, you can drill in a 1/2-inch plate, use it twice, run. Bring the bit up in the drill press,
Right.
turn it off, grab the bit. It's not even hot.
Wow.
That stuff is awesome,
Make your
and it's awesome. It works great for bits. It's supposed to be for welding, but it works way better with bits.
that's generally what to the bits is they just overheat and burn out.
Right, and then they're junk.
Then they're junk. Yep.
And I can't sharpen a drill bit to save my life. I'm just letting you guys know that.
It's an art. It really is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
It is. My neighbor Scott, he'll take a drill bit and he'll look at it, go like this. He'll look at it and go over to his grinder and go, zit, 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 zit. Here you go. Damn it, man.
I just go buy more.
That's what I do. I tried sharpening some and I took them up to Scott. He just looked at them. I sharpened 4 of them. He just knocked them off with a rivet, with a chisel. I mean, he just knocked off the end and resharpened them because it was so bad.
Oh no.
Those are ball joint plates that I cut. I was using them for spacers because I was building my control arm fixture.
Right.
But those are ball joint plates. And what I do with the how everyone's doing the 47 to 55 Chevy trucks with the S10 frames.
Right.
Well, the front ends are 5 inches too narrow, so I made control arms that are 1.5 inches longer.
Okay.
That way, it centers the wheel up in the front in the fender.
Right.
So by using that plate, I actually have 3 holes in the fixture. I can move the bung out that holds the plate to the 1.5 inch spot, lock it down. The plate's located right. I build the arm right to it.
Nice.
Connect the dots.
Yeah.
And that's what I did with that. That's when I was building the fixture.
Right.
But that's the kind of stuff I make because I need it.
Right.
And what I realized years ago is, I mean, I'd get guys that are willing to do that for me, but I got to do it on their time, and then it might take a week, 2 weeks.
Right.
So now I just get my measurements, come up to the house, and do it.
That's good.
Yeah, and then I have access to see there's the bung with the block on it,
Right.
and then I have access to 3 lasers and a water jet. So I just email the file, and they call me up and tell me when it's done,
Oh wow.
and I go get it.
Right.
It's so much easier now. Where's man? I'm surprised. I know I have brackets somewhere. There's some. Those are all ones that I've done. There's the fixture in the lower right for the arms. That's the fixture for the arms. Everything is TIG welded.
Right.
The bungs are put in, one end is welded, the other end has got a rod end in it that I make. I use all Prothane bushings, all DOM tubing. So yeah, if you need one, just let me know.
Yeah, I will. We'll definitely get a
We'll
hold
make
of
it
it.
happen.
Okay.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, there's one of the bungs on the left. There's a bung screwed into the pipe, into the tubing.
Right.
Yeah,
Cool.
and we can make it happen. There it is.
There you go.
And I use 3/4 grade 8 bolts
Right.
around the head off in the lathe, concave it, and then the tubing is 2-inch 1/4-inch wall DOM. So it's thick stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, just let me
I
know.
will.
Be happy to help you out.
No problem. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, okay, bring Ray back now.
All right, I'm going to bring Ray back, but I'm going to jump off because I got an early start tomorrow.
You got to drive the short bus, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hit him. I get a few more minutes and I got to get to. We
Well,
got
dude, we'll just sign off, guys. It's almost 1:15. We'll sign off. We brought Ray so we can sign off, all right? And we'll make it happen.
Not a
that
problem.
work. I got a show to do in the morning.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got to go. You got work to do, man.
Yep.
You got to do.
Hey, we really
That's what-
appreciate you coming on the show and everything. And,
Yes, definitely
and
appreciate.
we learned something new.
I appreciate
That's
it
the
too.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. All right, so Marks, you sign off. Say what you got to say.
Thanks for having me on. I definitely appreciate talking to you guys and talking about the product. And if anybody's got any more questions, you can get a hold of me at lizardskin.com. There's a place on there where you can send me your questions, and I get them whether I'm in the office or on the road. And hopefully we'll get to see some of y'all at some of the shows during the year. But you can always get a hold of us at the office.
Nice.
Ray, go.
Ray Guarino, Motormouth Radio, motormouthradio.com, and all the other social medias. Marks, Tori sent me your contact information. So
Awesome.
I'll be in touch with you. We'll see if we can get you on the radio show, and you can talk to the greater New York audience about all this stuff.
The masses.
Sounds good.
Lewis, your turn.
And I am Lewis Lee. And listen, we're doing a lot of work on Lou's website, lousantiago.com. And Papa Squirrel got the first coffee cup with Lou's face on it.
Woo-hoo.
So go check it out. Buy some stuff so we can feed Lou at the shows.
Nice.
And, hey, if you have any ideas, let me know too if we could do anything with the website. So we're really getting that all set up for Garage Insider. So that's it for me and Lou.
All right. Lou Santiago, GarageInsiderTV.com, Carfix, Playing in Traffic, all those things I host or do something in one way or another every Thursday night, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Marks, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it a ton and educating us all. All right, everybody, good night.
Good night.
See you next week, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So long.